this video, we'll be showing you how to set up and use Docmosis Java for the first time using the Eclipse IDE. First of all, from the Try Docmosis Java, you can use this form to request a license key. It's a two-step process. You'll receive an email from us so that we can confirm your email address. Just click on Please send me the key, and the second email will contain the license key. If you go through to Setting up Docmosis Java, from this page, it says we should download the latest version of the Docmosis Java zip from the Resources page. On Resources, you'll find the Docmosis Java zip. I downloaded that a little bit earlier. Let's just have a look at what's in that file. First of all, there's the Docmosis jar, which we're going to need. And we'll have a look at the Java doc. And the other items in there you can have a look at yourself. Just going to move the zip file out the way for now, so we're left with the two jar files that we've just downloaded. Also, from the resources page, you'll find a link off to the code samples. We're just going to have a look at the simple render code sample together. So I'll just download that zip. Let's just add that into the same directory and have a look at what we get there. So you'll find three files. I'm just going to extract those, and we can move the zip file out the way as well. So you should have these 5 files now, and let's have a look at setting this up in Eclipse. I'm going to start with a blank Eclipse workspace and just create a new Java project. Call it Testing Docmosis. And next, I'm going to set up a library and add in an external jar. That's the jar, and that's all we need to do to start with. So here's our new project, and we can see the library that's referenced, the Docmosis jar that we just downloaded. In the source directory, we've got this simple render.java example. I'm just going to add that in, and Eclipse will ask us if we would like to copy the file. Click through to the package, and now we can see the code is included in Eclipse. Let's just run it without making any changes. And the first thing you'll see is it gives you an instruction saying, please set your license key. Let's go back to the files we downloaded. There's also a readme.txt. If we just follow through these instructions, it'll help us get our environment set up correctly. So in the readme, it says, first of all, start a free trial. And in the simple render.java, we should look for this string to add in the license key. I'm going to go back to the email received and just copy this part of the license key. And I'm going to replace this string in the sample code. Let's go back to the readme.txt. So the second step, part 2, we should have installed, or you should install, a copy of openoffice or libreoffice. In this particular example, we'll be using libreoffice. We've just found that that's moved ahead a little bit faster in recent times. I've already got a copy of libreoffice installed on this machine under the C drive, Program Files, LibreOffice. And if we copy that address, then we can add that into the sample code. Just make sure that you've got the string all fixed up. Let's go back to the README file, and in step 3 it says copy the welcome template into the templates directory. This simple piece of code is just going to look for the template in the same location as the source file. If you're not sure where that is, if you run the code as it is, it will try to start creating the document, and it will tell us that it cannot find the welcome template and the location for where it's looking for it. So I'm going to go back to my welcome template and just copy that. And I'm going to go to C drive, Docmosis, workspace, testing, and just add the template in there. If I run the sample code again, first thing you notice is Docmosis tells us the version that it's using, some details about the license, and then that it's created a new file called newdocument.pdf. This is being created in the same location as the template, and there it is. Let's have a quick look at the welcome template first. We can see this is just a normal Microsoft Word document but it's also a DocMoses template as it has these special placeholders that DocMoses is going to search for and replace with the data. So we can see that the PDF document we've got is a similar looking document created based on that template, and yet the message has now been replaced with data. So let's have a look through the code together just to get a feel for what's happening. At the start of the code, you can see that we're setting up some strings for the different parts of the configuration that we need. The next block of code is really just error handling to check that this example is working okay. Then we get into creating a configuration. Now, the configuration is a DocMoses concept, and it would be nice if we had the Java doc linked in at this point. So what I'd like to do is just with this DocMoses jar, right-click Properties, and I'm just going to specify a Java doc location in an archive, and we're going to browse for the Java doc that we downloaded as well. If you've done that correctly, you should find that you've now got the context help so that for each of the methods available, you'll get some further information. So first of all, the sample code is building up this configuration. It's also using a data provider builder to build up some data. In this case, the data is just simple key and value pairs. So DocMoses will look for fields with this name in the template and replace it with this data. So we come down a little bit further, we can see there's the call to initialize. We specify the welcome template and new document.pdf. And this is the line that does all the heavy lifting. It says document processor render document, and we're specifying a template file, the output file, and the data. Let's just make some simple changes in here. First of all, to the message. Next, with the output file, in this simple example, DocMoses is looking at the extension of the file to determine the type of file that you want to create. If we change this to doc, DocMoses will create a Microsoft Word document. So with those changes in place, let's run the example again. And if we go back to where the PDF document was created, we'll say that a Microsoft Word document is created as well. You can see that it's a similar looking document, and this time the different message has been passed in. Let's have a quick look at the template together again. If we apply different formatting to this field, so we make it red, a little bit larger and bold, and save the template, then without making any changes in our code, if we run the example again, we'll see that when it generates the file, DocMoses will use the new formatting in the finished document. This is a fairly rich and detailed document. It's got a header section with images and a date. It's got page numbering in the footer and hyperlinks, bullet points, and so on. And all of this has been achieved as a Word document and as a PDF document from 5 or 6 lines of code. Hopefully that's given you a basis for setting up DocMoses in Eclipse, and now you can explore some of the other code samples and start working with your own templates. Thanks for watching.